plot 8 update. It's the 3rd of June. Onions are coming on quite well. I had a little bit of trouble with the weeds in this part of the plot, really bad. And I used to have a strip of chard in there which I pulled out today. It sort of bolted, so I pulled it out today, but I was always expecting it to be a little bit like that. I've got some more weeding to do today. My spuds are coming on, they're doing alright. What I'm probably going to do, I think I planted too soon into this bit of the plot, so we took it over, I never got a chance to clear it properly, and I've got all sorts growing up through. So what I'll probably do is, once the spuds are gone, the onions are up. I'm not sure about those Brussels, but what I'll probably do is just cover it, clear it, manure it, cover it, leave it till next year I think. We'll see. This was what was going to be me flower plot, but the problem is the daughter's planted some flowers there, and I don't know what's a flower and what's a weed. So I'm sort of having a go potluck. I've got some hyacinths and some hollyhocks in the greenhouse to plant out, which I've grown on from seed. So I'm just going to have another little, gingerly have a stab at this and see what needs pulling up and what don't. The only thing I know is definitely a flower is this one here, which is my sedum. I know that's a flower because I put that in myself when I took that, when I tidied up the other sedum at the other end of the plot. Stuck in a couple of cucumbers there, I think they're cucumbers. My peas are coming along. Got a bit going on there. My runners are coming along. There's only one really taken to the pole at the moment though. The rest does, no matter how much I wrap them round, don't seem to want to go, but we'll see. I seem to remember that happening last year, and I got a strip of peas in there, so I'll put a net down for it. Flipping dog. That's it, right. So coming along, some leeks in the middle, in between the runner poles. They're doing alright, they're thickening up nicely. This is my butternut squash. The pots are there next to Alfie, get up there, get off. The pots next to it are for the watering the roots on those, which I'm told is a better way to do things with squash, because the roots go down quite a way, so I'm told. So I had some last year, I had quite a few last year, but they never really grew too much. So the idea of doing it this way is to make them grow, you know, improve the water into the roots. What I've got here is these. I had some courgettes in here, which were given to me by the Portuguese family at the top, Antonio and his wife, and I put them in, and then we had the sharp frost and they killed them. So I put some more courgettes in, and they seem to be doing all right now. I've planted out some Swedes near my scaffold plank, and on the other side I put in some turnips. I'll be putting some other stuff in there. I've got some marrows which are in pots there, which when they need potting out, they'll be going in this bit as well. As you can see, the plot's looking quite green, but purely and simply with the work that I'm doing at the moment, I'm away quite a lot, and every time I turn my back it rains, and every time I come back up here is weeds everywhere. So what I'll probably do, the bits that I'm not planting on at the moment, I may just cover over and let it all die back, and then start afresh next year with a new plan. What you can see in the middle there is my little stunted apple tree. There's not a lot going on there. I think it had some blooms on there, but I believe the frost killed them off, because I've got my plum trees exactly the same. What hasn't been deterred by any frost is the gooseberry bush, which is loaded up with them. So yeah, quite a few on there. I'm not sure when you pick them. This is another dwarf apple tree, which again, nothing on it this year, but it's only its first year. And this is my medlar, which it looks like I've got a couple of fruits on there. A right job seeing this because of the sun, but I'm hoping you can see that. That looks like one of the fruits there, which I'm going to have some fun with this. We'll see how that goes. You can make stuff out from the fruit, jellies and things like that, so probably not going to have enough to do that with it, but I look forward to giving it a go. Again, there's a second row of potatoes there to come up, and my dog now, he's looking at me impatiently because he's dropped the ball somewhere. There it is. He drops the ball by my feet and then decides to run back open. I'll throw it for him. So yeah, so that's the update on the trees on this part. There's my loam pile and the old compost heap, which I'm slowly getting through, but because of the rain now, everything's flipping growing. What I've got here, this bit here, I've got a couple of cucumbers. It's the little plant over the back is a cucumber melon. I've got a couple on the grow in the greenhouse, but I thought I'd try one outside. I'm not sure how they react to our weather. Maybe if you've grown them before, you might be able to tell me. And I've got a couple of gherkins growing there. I've put some radishes in the middle, some of these Chinese ones, so we'll see how they get on. In the middle there, I've got some leeks, and I've planted some carrots either side of those, but I only just planted them a day or two ago. This is my small gooseberry bush, and you can see there, they're growing quite well on there, but they're quite small, the gooseberries on this one, and they normally go a darker colour, so they're not like the other ones. There I have me blackcurrant bush, and there's another blackcurrant bush there, but that doesn't seem to have done so well since I moved it. Maybe I moved it at the wrong time of the year. As I say, it all needs weeding up there terribly, but I'm getting through it slowly. And over there's my red currant bush, which is being attacked by ants at the moment. The leaves are curling up, but every time I turn them over, there's ants on there. I don't know whether the ants are eating the aphids, I don't know, but we'll see. Got a couple of red raspberry bushes there, they're doing alright. That one there, that big one there, that's an autumn raspberry, autumn gold. Over to my Cox's pippin. I'm going to have to thin this out a little bit, because it's only the second year in the ground with me, so there's stacks and stacks of apples on it. They won't be ready till October, but with the amount on there, I can see this breaking the flipping branches. I really can. Dog's a bit thirsty. This is me plum tree. That's it had flowers on it earlier on this year, but nothing now. And I think again that was a victim of the frost. I think the cherries seem to be all right. I've got some cherries on there, but as I say, I'm not too sure about this tree, because you know, looking at the branches, they seem all ridged and don't seem to have grown. You see, so I don't know if that's something that's wrong, whether it's diseased or something else going on there. I don't know. But and there's my other red currant bush, which is doing all right, and I've got a raspberry growing through the middle of it. So which didn't do a lot last year, but it seems to be doing a bit this year. So I'm going to leave it and see what happens. And yeah, if I look down, oh yeah, there's a bowl. So right, just down here. As I said, this one here, I don't think I told you, this is a pumpkin or a squash. The Italian name, Choggia, is the last name. I thought that had died back with the birds and slugs had got to it, but it seems to. I've just left it, and it seems to be growing on there now. Albie's put his bowl next to it just to emphasise it, I think. Right, moving on. Not much more left in the greenhouse. It's all sort of starting to die away. The figs coming on again. I had 2 figs on that this year when we had that warm spell, and the frost killed them off. I did put a fleece over it, but it still didn't do it. But I'm pleased to say it's really put some leaves on now and seems to be going alright. That's a honeyberry. I've planted out some beetroots in amongst this bit at the front here, as well as some Swedes, which you can see coming up there, the tiny little leaves. In this tub here is my, let's move that away, is my horseradish. I've also got some parsnips growing in there. I've got some carrots growing in this tub. Over there's my lemon balm and a blueberry bush there. I managed to get rid of all my tomato plants. I planted one at home. I've got this one here, which is now plenty of flowers on it, and I think we'll do alright with this. I think that's the money maker one, or it's the no, that's Outdoor Girl, I think. Down there in that tub is my cucumber melon. I put 2 in there. They seem to be doing alright. Terrible problem with snails and all that in the greenhouse. This is only my first summer with a greenhouse, so I didn't have one last year, so I'm sort of getting used to how it works. Some bits and pieces there. I've got some lettuces there growing in pots ready to plant out so shortly. There's some chrysanthemums. I can't remember what I put in there. I don't know, there's squashes of some sort anyway. Up there I've got one of them giant squashes, it's my boy's, but he planted some seeds and none of them took. So I said I'll have a go, and I could only find one seed in there that wasn't rotten, which might have been his problem in the first place. But it seems to be growing alright. If he gets his plot cleared up in time, I'll plant it out in there. If it isn't, I'll plant it on mine. This is one of these Arava melons, which I'm going to put into a tub and keep in the greenhouse. Let's see how we go on with that. I've got some cauliflowers there, a couple of Brussels. I planted something in there. Oh yeah, that's my marrows in those 6 empty pots on the right hand side. I've just potted on me peppers. I've got some peppers here, hot peppers. So I've just potted those on. So I built a cage up here the other week, which because the brassicas get eaten and pulled apart quite badly up here. We've got a lot of birds around the plot, so I put that in there and they seem to be doing alright. I've got a couple of bits of kale there, and then I have some cabbages, red cabbages and white cabbages, some Brussels up the middle. When the cauliflowers are ready, they'll be going up this side here of the cage, the netting. So but that seems to be doing alright. I've made it a typical allotment engineering, made up of old scrap bits of whatever I had at the time. Down there I've got some celeriac. There's 3 celeriac. I put 4 in, but the slugs got to one of them. So I've got some celeriac there, and they seem to be thriving there. So me and the missus like a bit of celeriac. I've got some sweet corn growing. That's sort of come on quite well, really. It's coming on really well. And some sweet corn I put out a little bit after that first batch there, which seems to be doing all right. I'm sure it'll thicken up. You know what it's like when you look at it all the time, you don't see it getting any bigger. So you think it ain't going anywhere, but when you look back at a picture, you see actually it's doing all right. And I put some onions in the bottom here. We love onions, so I thought you can never have too many onions the way I see it anyway. So that's about it really. That's where we are at the moment. Going into June, a lot further on than I was this time last year. This time last year we'd only just took the plot over. So I was busy cutting back the undergrowth, and we never had the top half of the plot where the dog is at the moment. We never had that this time last year. We only took that over in December. So just trying to keep on with it. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with the progress. It's not as tidy as some of the plots I see on YouTube, but we're getting there. But unfortunately, it's trying to balance a job, which takes up a hell of a lot of my time, and this and other commitments. It's quite difficult at the moment. But yeah, so there you are. Thanks for watching. Any comments down below? Anything you know about that cherry tree? That'll be good. Okay, thanks.